Hey everybody, what's been going on? This is Derek in the Midwest, and there has been a lot going on in the truth movement lately. There have been a lot of steps forward that have been taken here over the last number of days and weeks. Alex Jones has been getting large, major pushes on the mainstream media. I'll be doing another video about Geraldo Rivera coming out and basically supporting 9/11 truth. That'll be another video you can watch from me in the future. But what I'm going to be getting at right now is the fact that Alex Jones is continuing his big push forward. And the other day, just in a bit of an aside, he was talking on his show. And Alex mentioned that he was having a big national magazine do a cover story piece on him. And I just find that to be absolutely extraordinary, considering that Alex Jones is supposed to be alternative media, and he's been given spots on Fox News as well as other networks, MSNBC. You had that Chris Matthews piece where Alex Jones was a somewhat prominent figure in that. So Alex Jones's name is getting said and getting a lot of appearances on mainstream media these days. And that's because they're pushing him forward again. This is just, one more step in pushing Alex forward into the mainstream. And now I'm absolutely sure that sometime in the near future, the next year to few years, we're going to see Alex Jones on Fox News with either a show of his own or as a regular guest of either Andrew Napolitano or Glenn Beck or somebody of the sort who they have brought up to take on these kind of issues. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but all indicators are pointing in that direction. And to everybody out there in the truth movement, if you guys are honestly thinking that they're allowing 9/11 truth to break through to the mainstream because we're actually having these victories and because they just can't ignore it now, no, believe me, if they wanted to, they could continue to ignore this. They could ignore this up, down, left, right, diagonally. They could ignore this 7 ways to Sunday. It wouldn't matter. They could ignore this until the cows come home. Nothing could ever be done about it. But they're allowing this to break through to the mainstream media. And key word there being allowed. So the question is why, and if you've been paying attention to my work, you know what the deal is. Basically, this is going to be another issue that brings in the next American Civil War, and they might even bury the 9/11 truth issue completely. I've heard other researchers postulate that they might even simply bring it out and blame it on the Bush administration, and that would be it. And blame it on, them, and say, hey, it was a complete inside job, and, completely leave out the involvement of groups like the Israeli Mossad and the other people and agencies that were involved. And that's a possibility as well. But either way, this is what we're going to be taking a look at. It's Alex Jones admitting that he's having a big national magazine do a cover piece on him sometime in the very near future. Here you go.
I just need to lay in bed and get over this. The thing is, almost everybody in the office has been sick for weeks with this chest thing. And I was talking to one of the crew. It was a party this weekend, and they said half the people there couldn't breathe. And it just, I'm somebody who doesn't get sick maybe once every 2 years or something. And it just does not go away. Your diaphragm gets super sore because you've been coughing so much and you can't sleep at night. I'm not complaining. I dread this interrogation I'm going to get in a couple days from a big national magazine with a big cover story they're doing. I dread this interrogation I'm going to get in a couple days from a big national magazine with a big cover story they're doing. Because if I don't get some sleep, I'm going to be dumber than a box of rocks.
And there you have it, everybody. Sometime in the very near future, Alex Jones is having a big national magazine do a cover story on him. And, again, you have to know, by studying this information and by going over this stuff, I don't know how long, everybody's been doing this, but I've been doing this for about 7 years, and I've been doing it hardcore enough, long enough, to know that they have enough control to where they control literally everything, and I do mean every single thing that goes on television. They control all the news anchors, especially. If it's news, it's even more tightly controlled. And when you're talking about something as big as Alex Jones hitting the mainstream, or 9/11 Truth being promoted by Geraldo Rivera, you have to know that this is suspect. You have to know that there's something going on here that should not be going on. You have to know that this is all a ploy. And if you can't see through that, then I seriously just hope you do more research and more digging and more digging and more digging, because eventually you will come to the conclusion that Alex Jones is here to be a shill, and they are trying to engineer the next American Civil War. And 9/11 Truth was divided for a reason, and there are two 9/11 Truth movements. You have the mainstream loose change architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, Alex Jones Truth movement, and then you have the more accurate information, which is namely the information presented in a film called September Clues. And if you go to septemberclues.info, you can get all the information on the victim memorials and all the ridiculous scandals involving that. A lot of information that everybody needs to check out. But this is the bottom line. Alex Jones is being pushed into the mainstream media because he is a shill, and because they want people waking up to a certain degree, and they want people angry, and they want people pissed off in this country. So someone does jump and does start the next American Civil War.